Let's talk about the existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is a host of people who are uncertain as to whether the Lord exists. There are people who constantly saying, show me God, show me God. You can't prove to me that he exists. But actually, there is proof everywhere. The problem with it is that the people don't have the eyes to see. Because of their material predicament and the material anxiety and the covering of their material body, they misconstrue what they see to be material. But behind the matter, there is life force. There is creative force. Scientists say intelligent design because they look at mathematics and they go, wow, that's intelligent. They look at chemistry. Wow, that's intelligent. They look at physics. They look at biology. They look at plant life. Oh my God, that's intelligent. They look at the multiple species of life. Oh my goodness, how intelligent and diverse are all the different species. Well, they don't have the intelligence. You and I don't have the intelligence to create such a complex, intricate, and interwoven and self-sufficient environmental situation as we see and call nature. But there is no one, there has never been anyone, there is never going to be anyone who can create nature. This in itself shows a divine potency, a scale of potency unconceivable by all man. There's very few people who can actually comprehend and understand the complexities and interactions and multiple aspects of nature. And in general, they miss the basics that is divided into three categories and described in the Vedic literature, that nature is in three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And the interaction of those modes multiplies exponentially and causes the multitudes of types of bodies. The evolutionary theory of Darwin is a joke because monkeys aren't giving birth to humans. Species A isn't giving birth to species B and then C and then it's not happening. It never has happened. This is the differentiation in the intricacies and potencies of nature that are all caused at the creation. These species aren't interdependent. They're a next step in the chain of variegated manifestations of bodily types under the control of nature. And we have to look beyond that. We have to look behind, within. Where is the energy coming from? How come there's a difference between a brick or a piece of wood and an animated being, a cat, a dog, a horse, a person, a cow, bug, tree? Look at all the different manifestations are alive. They have potency. They have consciousness. We know that plants feel. They cut a branch off a tree, it feels it. We know it. You look in the eyes of your dog or your cat or your horse or your cow, you can see them there. You can see their consciousness looking back. They're considering, they're thinking, oh, what does he want? What is he saying? What is he doing? What's the game here? What are we supposed to be doing? Some so-called religious concepts say that these don't have souls. How stupid can you be? The consciousness is the symptom of a soul in the material body. And suddenly you see, oh, there is multitudes of different material bodies, and they all have a living entity in them, or they wouldn't be conscious. So there's a distinct difference between the consciousness and the body. And there's a distinct difference between dull matter and an animated material body. We can even see that when a person goes swimming, drowned, drag him out of the water, no life there. Body is still there. All it has is too much water in the lungs. Tip it up, pour out the water. Why isn't it animated? Because the spirit has left the body. The consciousness is the animation to all types of matter in all species of life. Well, then you should go, who has the ability to create spirit in multiple parts and parcels that there's so many of us? Living entities manifest in so many different species of life. And there's so many of each species. If you realize that a blade of grass is similarly a living entity in a grass body, Just like a living entity in a dog or a cat or whatever, they're still creating animation and life and growth. How many living entities are you seeing when you look across a field or a meadow, a paddock? How many living entities must there be for all those blades of grass to be animated by the presence of a living entity? A living entity no different than you and I, just embodied differently. So there's a presence there. There's a spiritual consciousness presence. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the source of consciousness. So he's the source of all of these multiple, innumerable living entities. Just like you and me. We have desires, we have emotions, we have feelings, we have needs, we have consciousness. So look how many living entities the farmer kills when he rounds up the whole paddock of grass to put in maize. How many living entities has he killed? But because they're not in human bodies, or they're not in cow or dog or some bodies, they'll overlook it. And it gives them the chance to deny the divinity of life. But the divinity of life is there because every living entity is a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Because the Lord is the only one who has the potency to create living entities. You can't do it. Science can't do it. They've talked about it for decades and decades. We're going to create life, and they've never done it. All they can do is set up circumstances where the Lord allows a living entity to enter, but they cannot create a living entity. They never can, they never will. It's impossible. It's absolutely structurally impossible for them to create a living entity. At most, they might be able to move one from one place to another. So we have to recognize that the limited capacity within us as minute parts and parcels of the Lord means that we do not have the capacity to create a material nature, to create a material universe, to create the living entities in life. So the evidence that there is a Supreme Personality of Godhead is everywhere. It's everywhere. It's in the manifestation, the physical manifestation. It's in the spiritual manifestation. It's in the presence of the living entities and their consciousness. So the only reason someone says, show me God, is they haven't been trained how to see him in the beginning. The ability to see God is a gift. And the inability to see God is ignorance, miseducation or lack of education, misconception, seeing one thing and interpreting it to be something else. These flaws are there in the human form. We have imperfect senses. We commit mistakes. So we misconstrue what we're seeing. Oh, I'm seeing a tree, so that's just dead matter. But that tree grew from a seed, and it's now standing tall. Just like you, your body, it grew from the pea-like seed of the secretions, parental, mother, father. Created the small pea-like body that grew into you. And the capacity, the senses, the opportunity, the total accumulation of knowledge, mind, intelligence, and all of this is a manifestation of mercy to you. Everybody is going around saying, show me God, as though, well, there isn't any evidence. They're going around angry as though, well, I haven't been benedicted. I haven't had everything I want. I don't have riches and opulence and everything the neighbor has. But this is nonsense. The whole manifestation is yours. You can use this manifestation. You have intelligence, you have mobility, you have beauty, strength, knowledge, wisdom. You have all these assets in front of you, and you're too busy misconstruing it. Seeing everything as dull, unable to identify the difference between spirit and matter. So this is why the Vedic literature says, you require a spiritual master when you come to the platform that you realize you're not your body, that you're the conscious living entity energizing the body. You have to come to that platform first. You have to recognize that if I look at my body, I go, it's just my hand, that's my arm, that's my whatever. Well, wait a minute. That's all the pieces of the body, but it's not me. And even my mind, it's not me. Even my intelligence, it's not me. I'm the witness. I'm the person doing, seeing, experiencing. I'm something higher even than the body. So I'm not the body. I'm the proprietor, owner, driver of the body. Then you're ready. Not done, ready. You're ready to enter spiritual life. You're ready to understand the difference between the manifestation and the living entities, and the spiritual manifestation, and the Supreme Lord, and all of his various potencies. And you learn that from a realized soul. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, as they surrender unto me, all of them, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects. Really? Well, what are you doing to surrender? Everyone's in denial. This is a diseased habit of the human society that we're living in now, right now. Everybody is in denial. They're denying their responsibility. They're denying the presence of God, denying they're going to have karma for what they're going to be responsible for what they do. They're denying that the governments and the world leaders are crazy. They're denying that the world is under threat, that it's dying because of our mismanagement. So it's this denial. The students, they deny responsibility. They deny they have to follow the rules. They deny that there's anything they're going to learn at school. They deny if they've done something wrong. And they get a lot of this from their parents, who are in denial. It's a disease. It's as simple as that. It's a disease. Oh, they're trying to take care of the measles, or they're trying to give you a flu shot, which contaminates you further, but that's another subject. But the real disease is denial. So everyone says, well, if there's anything that I can deny and get away with it, I know, I'll deny the existence of God. That's what I'll do. I'll point the finger at organized religion and anything that they've ever done wrong. And I'll say, see, it can't be true. It's all a lie. It's all evil. It's all slavery. Any word they can come up with to justify their lack of understanding. When actually the love of God is the goal of life, and they're addicted to enjoying themselves, and they're angry because they don't get everything they want when they want it to the full satisfaction. And this just shows they have the disease. They have the denial disease. They deny any responsibility or gratitude for all they have. They just want more. Greedy. Where's the humility? Where's the honesty? Where's the understanding things in proper perspective? And this is what we go to school for, isn't it? We go to school to get rid of misconceptions and understand things in proper perspective. Whether it's grade school, primary school, preschool, or university. But we have a society that doesn't have it in proper perspective. They're not trying to find out what is really going on. They're just looking for anybody and anything that will support their conception, even if it's wrong. And we have a situation where society is controlled by the television set. Everybody won't admit it. Oh, no, I don't watch very much television. Everybody says that. I hardly watch any television. Well, take a stopwatch, and check that out, and you'll find out you're lying to yourself. You're in denial. It's another symptom of the disease. Right now, the human society's biggest problem is denial. Everybody's denying reality. Everybody's denying their responsibility. Everybody's denying that there is such a thing as the laws of nature. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Oh, wait a minute. Well, if that's true, then everything I do wrong comes back on me, and everything I do good comes back on me? Yep. Yeah, that's right. So you better watch what you do. I was talking with someone the other day saying how it's obvious that the Lord's attitude toward the living entities is a reward and punishment basis, and that the king is supposed to control the citizens on a reward and punishment, the government, the justice system, the father who runs the family, the teacher who runs the classroom. It's supposed to all be handled on a reward and punishment basis. It's the method designed for the living entities to be handled. Not controlled, handled. You still have free will. Use your free will wisely, or you get punished. Now learn how to use your free will wisely. And you don't, you get punished. You learn how to use your free will wisely, you get rewarded. So the whole methodology of the manifestation and the Lord's relationship to you as living entities is a reward-punishment. And the first thing they try to do in schools is no rules. You can't punish your kids. This shows we're being run by evil governments. We're being run by evil leaders, by ignorant teachers. They don't know what they're talking about. Spare the rod, spoil the child is the Christian phrase. It's obvious. Anyone with a little bit of spiritual perspective of life can recognize that the whole methodology is a reward-punishment basis. But they try to stop punishment. Or the stupidity that rankles my feathers is one person in the class does something wrong and the whole class gets punished. Injustice. Teaching injustice. And it makes everyone internally angry. And the teachers, the whole methodology of education, they fall all over themselves. They lose all credibility. They lose their influence upon the students who will voluntarily follow their instructions. They lose it. Because they fall into denial. I'm denying that there's justice in education and in the reward and punishment basis. It can only be done justly. The Lord does it justly. The king is supposed to do it justly. The government is supposed to be just. The Justice Department is supposed to be just. The students, the teachers, people in general, everyone is supposed to be just. You don't lie, cheat, steal it to make it up, to get advantage. But we have a society that denies their responsibility to be just, to be most anything that they don't want to be. They only stand up on the platform, I deserve to do whatever I want and enjoy as much as I want, whenever I want, wherever I want, no matter what anybody else thinks or says. And if you say anything wrong about me, there's something wrong with you. We see that constantly, the psychopathic reaction. If you catch a psychopath doing something wrong and you say, that is wrong, stop it, they'll attack you. They won't discuss what they were doing and why. They won't take a look at the pros and cons. They won't consider if it was right or wrong. Absolutely not. They attack you because you said something to them. And we have a society that's sick like that. So they deny everything, all the way to the point that they deny the Supreme Personality of Godhead exists. And they try to deny that this manifestation was made by an unbelievably superior intelligence. And it has a methodology of operation and a sustainability that nobody could design or control. But it's here. It's right there in front of us, 3D. We're living in it and among it. So what does denial do? It makes you stupid. It makes you look foolish. It makes you irrational. And if you let that go, it makes you delusional. And then you're not going to make any advancement. Your lifetime is an opportunity from birth to death. It is an opportunity to elevate your conscious understanding, to improve your character, your awareness, your compliance to reality. And if you're going to stop that or avoid that or deny that or refuse to do that, there's no reason for your life. So this society is playing a very dangerous game. They're denying all of the opportunities and all the responsibilities that make us human. They're denying their consciousness as separate from their body. They're denying the Lord as superior to the manifestation. They're denying their responsibility to everything that relates to stability of society. This denial is the disease that keeps you from being who you are. If you don't face the truth and work with the truth and live by the truth, this denial stops your conscious evolution. It stops your progress. And we see it. Society's not getting more intelligent, more compassionate, more mature. Society's acting stupid. The papers are stupid. The stories are stupid. The television is stupid. The conversation at the cafe, it's all stupid nonsense. Something serious happens and everybody laughs. They don't take responsibility. It's gotten to the point of absolutely ridiculous. If you just step back and look at it, it's absolutely ridiculous. The social standards, the social expectation, the social way we interact, it's absolutely stupid, childish. It's no better than 10 or 11 years old. And now we have these smartphones. They keep you distracted so you have a reason to avoid being responsible. So this denial of God denial of your consciousness, denial of your responsibility, denial of your interactive relationship in society, denial of your responsibility is a disease that is rampant in our human society and is causing the frustration, the cancellation of advancement of the consciousness, advancement of compassion to other living entities, seeing other living entities like unto yourself, having desires, having needs, wanting love and compassion, wanting to exchange in a friendly, caring way. Everybody is just critical. They think they're so intelligent that when they stand around and bitch and moan and complain and find fault with everything they can think of, they think it's a sign of intelligence, and it's exactly the opposite. It proves they've not developed their intelligence, or they wouldn't be a fault finder. They would be controlling themselves and removing their denial. So there is no reason to deny anything. It's only a frustration to you and to the human society and to the development and maintenance of the living entity's survival. We're playing a dangerous game in this denial mentality. Reject it. Give it up. If you don't know the answers, find them. Every answer you need, every possible thought, worry, concern is possible for you to come up with is answered in the Vedic literature. But you haven't read it yet. So you think there's no answers. Educate yourself. Read the Vedic literature, Bhagavad Gita as it is, by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the spiritual master for this universe. Listen, learn, become great. You have it within you. The potential is unlimited, but don't deny it.